It's going to be, you're going to be always disappointed when you go out, unfortunately, first in this, and it does affect their standing and their placement. But you know what? It's another game. You have to forget about that. You have to let it all go, get it out of your mind, speak to your IGL, speak to your team captain, reset, replay, we go again. Miramar, game 2, day 2, rock and roll. We start at Campo Militar, and we come down to the south.
Now, I've been seeing FaZe do their traditional drops, talking about a team who's been playing a similar style. I don't know if they can reach it so comfortably this time. I'm looking to see if they'll go for the reach on this, so they try and stretch it across, which maybe they can, but that's a busy area. I want to see if this puts anyone out. If anyone gets uncomfortable, Na'Vi have adjusted swiftly. They'll go wherever they need to. They're the first ones out of the plane. But I want to see everyone else. How do they account for this? Anyone in the east is perfectly happy. They are fine. Over towards the west, though, in the north, it's going to be a bit of a stretch here.
Well, we won't get a full western swing, which knocks out like your Pozo endings, you knocks out your hillside, cliffside. It's
Richard, I've seen that PlayerUnknown was in chat.
Oh, wow.
And this is
here.
quite close to the islands.
Please don't do it, Brendan.
Is it time?
Or maybe please do it, Brendan. Give us a weird one. Give us something fun. Let these players work for the money.
Look, we've seen wild circles. I mean, you only have to look at this tournament itself. That north shift on the bridge, I've never seen it before. I've never seen it. Oh,
really?
God.
Yeah,
Helen, stop it. Helen, please. Please, Helen, not TSM. Let him be.
I was a bit upset they didn't get many more kills than the previous one. They had a decent position in the circle, but I think they played for placement rather than going out and fragging out. There were times that they could have maybe got a little bit more proactive. I can see you pointing at the map. I see there is water there. I know you want it, Laura. It might swing that way. Saw a weird swing yesterday. We'll see if we get the same. If it does, then Tempo Storm just belts it across to the this is mine now.
Look, again, it's super unlikely. The circle has hit. It is on the east, not surprising. Centering around enters Force. I guess you could say Tempo's got a good position, but there is a great deal of water, so this does mean that there won't be as much territory available. You won't have as many compounds. Hard shifts become harder because there are not as many rotation routes. But a team that this does bode well for is Gen G. Sitting in the north, they have El Azahar pretty much as their kind of, I guess, back garden. They're just south of it in the split compounds, perfectly fine. Having a little loot away. This is a look back at, obviously, the nade. You saw it building. You saw the nade becoming a potential when Mexi didn't move up. And there it is. Yeah, it does take your breath away for a second, doesn't it? You're like, bloody hell.
I'm pretty sure he got the second one as well, so that gives him, I think that's all 4 players picking up 4 points. And something else, a bigger picture that Martin touched on the desk. They had, what, 2, 3 kills coming into that? Mexi actually got all 3 players up, so they were on the outskirts, literally on the outskirts of going out. Mexi steps up as time and time again, we've just seen him hold his nerve and clutch individual moments. He's a very selfless player. He's more than happy to die if he has to. Obviously, no one wants to die, but the scenarios where I'll say, okay, I'll give myself up, give the information, be the one that opens this. In this scenario, he gets the heals off and just throws a belting, there's no other way to say it. It's a highlight clip, and we want more of that. That's what we expect from a grand finals at a world finals.
So let's see who this sits well with. We already said Gen G in a good position, Tempo Storm for sure. Force could sit well here. They'll probably have the first pick, you'd argue, because they had quite a split loot. Entus Ace, I like their approach. It looks like they're going to have a bit of a hold to the east of Los Leones, so they should be pretty happy out there. The teams who are going to find it hard are the ones mostly in the northwest. That's a pretty rough entry. It's going to force you out. You will imagine this will move away from water. You're playing those odds at the very least. So that's not too much of a bother. Teams with a nicer entry point, you could argue maybe Na'Vi. They can slot in on the northeast side. FaZe, southeast.
When I look at this circle and I see Impala near enough, it's not quite in the middle, but you know, if we're counting out the water and saying it's not going to go there, I'm just preempting off this. First of all, you lose about 20% land and cut off that entire quadrant and say, okay, well that's not going to be playable, so it's a smaller circle anyway, so you'll get these few early engagements. I look towards Impala and I think, okay, well, what's around it? We look towards 3 quadrants, the north, the south of it, and then more importantly to the west. So between that, if you want to do the trifecta, Gen G, T1, and then further afield, you know, somewhere around Entus Ace, for example, this whole field, it's a bit of a night. Oh, did I hear just? Is that a misfire?
I heard an AK.
It's a misfire.
It's a desk pop. We've all done it.
Yeah,
Makes you jump and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, you have to be. It's a bit of an IGL nightmare. It's pick your poison, choose your location, hope the circle comes your way, and really, who's the most reactive? Who's going to be off the back of it where the circle goes? What's your rotation like? Can't say enough about the previous rotation.
Hold on. We are having the first engage already. This is Tempo Storm. They had a really nice starting position in this. It looks like they're holding a 2-2. They are getting a bit of pressure to begin with. Hopefully we can switch over and check in with Tempo. Because it looks like these shots are pretty far away. I don't know if Joy can be picked up. But this would be a massive loss again for Ace. These early fights on game 1, they suffered against the Rumblers. This could be a somewhat similar fate. That could be a pickup there. Is Alpaca going on a recovery mission? This is very brave. Yes, they have smokes up. Yes, they have cover. But now you're risking another player here to try and get one back on their feet. Maybe they feel it's so necessary, as after that first game, they need their players.
So this is always a scary commitment. There's two sides to the story, is that maybe you can bait some of those players out on Tempo Storm's side into a place where either you get an eye line on them, or a third party can take one of them down, knock one of them out, give you some more time. They are going for it because of the disastrous previous round, so they want the res, they want to stick it.
How's that car still up?
Honestly, you'd expect no tires on this. If it is going to go, it's going to go and just slowly chug away along the sandbanks. But
they've done it. They've got it back up.
I'm okay with it. The utility's there. You have committed a lot to it, let's be honest.
But they do have a good enough position. I don't feel that's a bad idea. They're not center, but they're on the outskirts of a more middle position. So for them, I don't see them having to move drastically unless there's a super hard shift, which you're going to have to move regardless. So for them to try and pick up their teammate, I don't mind it. I'd like to see that, considering game 1 was a little bit of a letdown for them.
Okay, well, we've got a minute. Let's touch on where teams are. VC, they'll be coming out of San Martin, open fields in front of them. Same goes for QM. Na'Vi, Elazar, easy insertion for them. They're up top. No one's really going to pester them.
Yep.
FaZe, they're going behind enemy lines. They're going on an uphill battle and maybe play the slow game. Maybe they're hoping to God that the circle goes across to the island, in which case they will be happy. But the one team that I was going to touch on next, and I'm glad our observers have got it, Lazarus and 4AM. They are within meters of one another. Godv, he's the first victim. Weirless will fall. 1 point in the pocket of Lazarus, but can we see more? Will they take this time to collapse?
I'm looking to see if 4AM push it. They're the team that scares me, right? You just poked the beast. You ready? I'm wondering if they go for the ZGG's already kind of extending on this one, maybe trying to find a bit of a highlight angle, because now you can see the pressure coming in. Luke 12's won some of this, and honestly, Lazarus could do with a bit of a push here. They could do with another couple of big games to remind us why we like these guys, but ZGG instantly taps back the Lazarus players, calms them down, says, all right, boys, calm down.
There will be a little bit of love loss here. We saw on the last day, Lazarus did the dirty. Purdy Curdy with the VSS says, you know what, Hacienda is my back garden, boys. Get the hell out. Ultimately, Lazarus topped the tables during the semis. So there will be some retribution here, should 4AM be able to answer back, but losing one player off the bat, you did not expect it. We'll look at Genji's rotation. Elazar for them, nice and quiet. They've gone further afield, not too far from this position. They are just over the hillside, but they are in actually a full 4-man split. Loki on his own. The rest of them might be able to connect themselves over at this area. Yes, they will, so they'll hold down this bottleneck. Shots that I do see on map, actually. Enters Ace. FaZe is getting a little bit closer to their position, so they've gone for a 2-2 split to give them a hop, skip, and a jump inside the circle, depending on where it goes. It's mainly a position play more than anything, so you can move and rotate once this is done, rather than being stuck inside a building, so I get why they've gone for the disconnect. The same idea goes for Tempo Storm, and actually Enters Force. All these teams now are going for these 2-2 splits, these 1-2 splits, because they don't know where it's going to go. It does go more to the northern side.
Lane.
So this one ping-pongs between Elazar and Impala.
So let's look at, again, now who becomes the most deadly teams. Enters Force, big split on this. They're going to have to supplement some of their players here. Indigo cannot hold this on his own, and neither can the other players. It looks like Maluk's in a nice spot here. Maybe Tempo Storm will leapfrog up to him. You do see Na'Vi getting very close by towards Gen G up in the north. I would be looking at that one. It's a couple of oh, no, that's not good. That's a very bad place to park the car. And now it's who's going to just pretty much nab it. It looks like T1 get a go at this one, but that is pretty bad for Force, considering they had Indigo waiting for support.
The interesting fact about this circle is how Minas Generales plays out, because it's all the way to the edge on the western embankment. We never get a circle inside that area. It just can't go because of the mountains that are behind it that you can't access. So it will be flooding more towards the central side. You then have the water on the east. You're going to be looking for somewhere around the middle area, and that's why everyone's going to bank on these roadsides. You take whatever you can grab, dips, divots, huts, whatever works. It'll be a very scrappy game. We have a lot of open land.
Oh, GEX is split. Speaking of open land, look at their split here in the eastern side. It will allow a pickup for FaZe. That's what worries me at these points. I don't think you can hold these 1-1 splits all the way across. 2-2, I can see that working. Maybe a 3-1, sure, but not that isolated. Leo now has 0 support, no chance of a refrag, and it's just whoever gets the pickup now.
It's a bit of an unorthodox position, and probably curse of the caster. As soon as you mention that, he just gets tapped in the head. But there you go, when you're out on your own, there's no revive possible. We will see eventually die out or bleed out no matter which way you want to go. Uber might just say, I don't want this, I get the point on the board. That's a shot and a half uphill. So it hits him on top of the mountain. You can see on the right-hand side how teams have been moving around this area, and that's exactly what I was speaking about earlier on with Minas Generalis and how it affects this one. Why 4AM are trying to get ahead of the game when we look towards teams like Lazarus, for example. They've come down to a better position. Maybe they can pin Lazarus up there, maybe they can't. We won't know until the next circle comes through. GX losing one player like that's going to be dangerous. We'll see if potentially they lose more on this rotation.
Yeah, 80 might see it. I don't think he's going to get a clean enough angle to be able to actually punish anyone. The southwest for me, Rich, is looking quite scary. You have probably the vast majority of teams sitting down there. Genesis, TSM, Tempo Storm, Entus, Ace, W, Click, Rumblers. This is just the dedicated few. Then you could look further. There's the bleed out on Leo, not surprising. Now it's FaZe's. And that does mean that their eastern side for FaZe is pretty clear. They do have Genji to the west and Na'Vi up north, so that's kind of the lay of the land in the east. But that said, for me, that western side is very scary here.
And that's because if you were to grab a pen now and put it over Navi's head and just draw a line going to the west, hit VC and then head down south all the way to Entus Ace. These entire 2 roads, we see a lot, a hell of a lot of circles being forced by the hillsides down to those areas. If you can contain the road now, if you can get a good position on it, stop teams encroaching, peacock them, keep them away, a good position now will pay dividends. As I'm talking all of this, you know what the circle says?
Screw you.
Screw you. Let's go towards water. So now that puts that in play, you know it's going to be counted out in the next circle. It's coming inland.
And what this means, Rich, the vast majority of the teams I was just talking about in the West have to move. And yes, there is room, but Impala might be packed. We're going to see a lot of open terrain here as well. That hillside where Ace, Force, T1 all currently reside is going to be very open. Gen G currently sits slap bang in the middle of this phase, just off to their east. And Na'Vi controlling the north. 3 terrifying teams creating the triangle of doom here.
This will be hell in a cell. Everyone's going to try and bomb to the middle and get themselves a good position. When I say good position, everywhere's rather open. You want to be here rather than an enemy being there. Tires are popped. I'm hearing one go. Ira, that thing's on fire, buddy. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. It's gonna go up in flames. He'll survive for now. Don't think his teammates can really come back and pick him up. Maybe he can get a cheeky pick there and a cheeky knock. Entus Ace are also seeing movement towards their northern side. They have to watch the south though. Genesis is creeping. Grenades are out. Profi will mark them. Will he get any tags?
He's got to pick his fight here, Rich, because they got one team on one side, Force is stretching on this, and you have Ace on the other. Genesis are about to be sandwiched in the worst way, but H-Win's nade gives them a way forward, and they needed that. Now Force is going to be tempered. They can't keep stretching on this. They're down to 2 standing. Now, is there going to be a reply from Ace? Are they going to try and flex on this, or is it done for? Yes, they are. VC are actually getting some shots in. Profi's on the long way around. Does he have an angle? It looks like he does. Force fall again with 1 player standing. Indigo now goes into recovery mode, as it looks like Genesis might have found their home if they can make it any further forward.
This is so messy, and these shots are actually coming across from W Click. They're all the way down in Impala, so these are long-range shots. They'll have to hit the res. H-Win. Good proactive movement from him.
Smart.
It holds them back, so they actually, even if he doesn't go for the kills, it means they can't come forward and kill them while they're getting the heal off. I like that play.
Rich, Tempo Storm, they ain't far from this. If they hear these shots, they could third party. Ragnar just found K-Mind. That's W Click. Again, this is over an Impala. That's a big shot
Ace,
to be
what are you
coming through.
doing?
They're just spamming this. And Force has no idea. Tempo Storm are creeping up on this. They've arrived. Force are trying to fall away from Genesis, but to go into the loving arms of the next North American. Maluk's there. You have Force trying to find any modicum of safety, and there just isn't any.
It's messy, but we love to see it. Early engagements are always going to happen in a circle like this. Everyone's just praying for something to work with. We were speaking about earlier on position. Rory, next one to fall from TSM. Rather unfortunate. I saw Michael go down in the kill feed earlier on, so that's Lazarus. They're all the way out up against the white on the western embankment. 4 players are now just hailing down onto TSM's position. They could be having an early one in this game. Circle of dates goes towards the north. Na'Vi, all of a sudden, look in a very strong position.
They certainly do, but you can't get past QM or 4AM. I mean, it's not the big squad of 4AM, but yes, Rich, the South. Teams trying to get to this? My word. These pack of teams we just saw fighting now aren't anywhere near the circle. It looks close, but I promise you that run, it may as well be the other side of Miramar. There's still 16 teams standing. We have 53 players. This is about to explode. This circle cannot house this many teams.
How do you approach this one? What's the rotation going to be like? Because you can't just hit it from the south. If you do, there's going to be teams littered, scattered, and waiting for you to do so. Teams like this, for example, GEX have turned up and FaZe Clan's found them.
Now, FaZe are in a 2-2 split. I was going to say the only way you can do it is try and crash maybe a 2-2 if you're going to have the luck on it. And GEX going to try. Kane has to be quick on his feet because the nades are coming in. Down to a one-shot, but stays alive. 8C fancies another go, and the nade's good. Looking for an off angle. This could catch him off. The nade's up, it's over. It is good! Who are these guys? What are these heat-seeking missiles that are in their pockets? And now GEX look deadly. They had 3 crashing towards them, and now it's just 1.
The vert nades there, it gets the job done, and I expect them to strangulate this and stop the revives coming through. Speaking of revives, Genesis, they might be all out of luck. They've engaged an Enter's Force, down they go. I saw earlier on TSM doing damage. When it comes to Lazarus in the kill feed, there's engagements galore across this one. That's what we want to expect. Uber continues the bombardment. Ace has gone in the kill feed.
But now look, FaZe are calling in the cavalry. They're not going to risk it on 2-2 splits, even though you could argue maybe the other two had better positions here. But Uber, the man at the end of that trailer, the beast at the end of the game, wants it on the action. That nade isn't bad, but they've already left the building. Now you got Sophia on foot, Shyway as well. Who's going to get the kills? They're trying to lurk on the smoke. They found Mexi. They've taken him down. Yes, the nade's good, but you need to get a flush on this because 4AM are on the hillside, and that's a big amount of pressure breathing down your neck. Gen G1 in on the action. That's all the big dogs now staring you down. Sophia, last one alive, I'm pretty sure here. I'm thinking Shyway got knocked in, yes. Sophia now left alive and not for long. Swept aside, FaZe control it. But they may have given up a lot to try and support their teammates.
Ira goes, actually knocks one of Lazarus. There's been a continuation of this battle going on, but out in the open we have to move to VC. Tempo Storm just on the other ridge side. You can see the bullets coming through. Sharky, 4th player standing. They could make something happen on this, but they don't have to pressure them. They don't have to push for the simple fact it's VC that has to do all the work. But Zampa, he's going for a low ball. He's going to try and flush them from behind.
Yes.
This could be deadly if he catches them off guard.
Summer was holding him back initially, but now in the blue, Sharp Shot just showed a little too much. You can see the line of smoke. It's VC trying to get their players in the circle. Now the line of sight comes in. Tempo needs to be aware. These shots are not going to stop landing. Tempo needs to be on alert here. VC are now back in control.
Just know where he was stood. They've no idea where these bullets are coming from. They're looking every single way, but the bullet fires are coming from up north. This is dangerous. I'm seeing Tempo Storm just falling in the kill feed one by one.
Genesis are on the hunt as well. They're sweeping from the south. They're coming up behind
Dead.
Tempo. And there they go. They tried to battle the Chinese side, and they've had absolutely none of that. And now the circle centers up. It's gone to the north. 4AM. Large and in charge, but only down to 2. Genesis hot on the heels of that previous battle with VC. They can see weakness there. Maybe try and exploit it. Now, Na'Vi have 4 in the north. K-Mine strikes, does get down tied. That's pretty good going. I don't know if they can clean sweep this. They're still pretty far away, but Profi, the man is on a run. He's on a mission.
He's the only man in this entire arena that was at Auckland and also was at PGI. He's been there, done that. I think what?
Yep. K-Mind said, all right, Profi, I like your run. I'm gonna bring the car, so it's fine. K-Mind is playing a very scary game for me. He's playing a little bit too aggressive because now Gen G are just laughing at this. That's gonna be a car going up any second now. And there you can see it, Taemin, already one of the top players here, desperate to punish that.
AC is still on the run though. Loki's got them on an angle. They will fall in front, but they can't get confirmation. One point will go to Gen G, the other to Genesis, so they do share the load. But up top, Na'Vi, Lazarus, 4 AM, Senya from Na'Vi just spots Profi, dinks him in the face. K-Mind now has to run for holy hell, pan out, hoping to block the bullets. What can you do, buddy? This is shooting season, it's open territory.
It is, but what I'm seeing is the Rumblers trying to fall towards FaZe, but Gen G get the line of sight. They're playing out against everyone, and WClick holds the East. The Rumblers are going to have a tough time here. They might be able to get to FaZe's compound, but I can promise you, there's going to be 2 other teams watching their rush towards this. They have 4 players and a lot of utility. Smokes are in, FaZe knows this. They've got to be aware of the angles, so they can be just, I guess, crushed by at this point.
I'm liking the play here. They know there's a big run to do, so they will put smokes up against the building as close as possible to deny line of sight. ZGG has other idea. That's all the way from the hillside.
That's
what
behind
a
FaZe.
300-400 meter shot, but he's answered instantly. So as soon as you give away the position, the domino effect comes in. Vestelot says, you're out in the open, I'll take the kill.
They're running it now. FaZe knows what's coming their way. They may not know the team, but now they know the players coming through. The smokes are up, they're starting to slightly fade. Genesis got eliminated. That's Loki finding it. Gen G saw that a mile away. Fuzzface is your point man with 8C. Uber was on Overwatch, but he can no longer see. Let's see if FaZe have their players ready. Cherry Poppins gets in. They've got to know this. Fuzzface has the cross, Rich. He's waiting for them to try and push up to that next compound, or will they not move? Lost HD is right behind Fuzzface. That's a very scary battle from 2 big players. Microfry did get caught, and now the tag comes in, so every other team is piling in. FaZe wait with bated breath.
There is time. The WClick, they can cause problems. I don't think there's any grenades after utilizing them all previously in the engagement. Cherry Poppins, second one to fall. That was while he was sticking the res. Is it time to collapse? There's only one standing, that's Lost HD.
But they don't know the angle. They have no idea where, oh, maybe they do. Fuzzface on the pre-fire draws out the shots. Does he know he's there? Because now he's getting a lot of pressure from the other side. It looks like they're desperate to get rid of Lost HD.
Lauren.
That's WClick though. He's down in 9 HP here. You're hearing the click, maybe trying to bait it out. Fuzzface wants to go on the push. He's got nothing. And there's the spray. FaZe control the south, but now they got to move a couple of seconds until that blue is going to force them forward to WClick.
It's not WClick that worries me, Lauren. Gen G are heading down the mountainside. They are sweeping and clearing. If they knock one of FaZe for them, they'll say, you know what, boys? This is the team that's hot on our heels. If we eliminate these, this makes our run on the leaderboard that much easier. Vehicle, it's only one. How far can you go? You've got 2 teams that will be eyeballing this up. ITZY might be able to find a location for the rest of FaZe to catch up. But Gen G, if I were them, I'd be taking out FaZe. This is a big set of kills for them. It's not the points, it's the team's position.
I agree, and I think that's why they're sticking around here so long, but 8C's adjustment is actually going to give them a very good angle. They can maybe fight a little bit towards this, but you're fighting against Gen G, so that's no easy battle. The North is in control by Na'Vi. You do have QM up there, you do have 4A up there, but WClick slowly building into this. The powerhouse, they're leaving Rebo behind. He is on his own, trying to control FaZe, who are step-by-step moving their players up. PO is on a limb. He's moved out on his own. He's found one. He punishes 8C. No trade available for FaZe, but Na'Vi like a bit of this.
I'll have to take 2 different fights. 4AM goes down. We'll move on board with Uber. ITZY bleeding out of the wayside. It will be second knock. The bleed out will come through fast. 2 different fights that he has to take. You got to pick your battle wisely. The overpeak is real. Has to be careful on this one. Gets the headshot. Whips out for the second gun. This is an important kill. Knocks him for now. Can leave him be. He now has to focus on the task at hand, and that's Gen G sweeping on the hillside.
Uber has to save the day, and I don't know if he can. Denied by Loki. He is instantly deleted. FaZe are 2 standing, but barely. Gen G see a contender to their throne. They're going to have none of it. Instantly kick them back down the hill. But Na'Vi, they've been building in the north. They've been playing patiently. 5 kills reserved for the CIS gods. But can they shut down this lobby? You look at the center, WClick just got prime position. You look to the northeast, QM hold territory.
This is a really strong play from Na'Vi. 1-2-1 split, look at that. They can stop any rotations from the north or from the south and essentially crush their enemies in the middle. Walk together as a pack. Circle hits the middle, they now have to wander in. Bestaloch is on his own, needs to be careful he doesn't get disconnected by QM. Silson goes down. This might be the go signal for Gen G. We've got one, let's push in, get the center circle, knock out W click, and then we've got something to work with. Otherwise, they are held at the foothold of this hillside. It won't be the best position moving up because of Na'Vi's advantage with the line of sights they are given and provided by this hillside.
Honestly, I think Gen G are about to do double digits again. They're in the top 4. We're down to 4 teams. I am terrified of this roster. By all means, Na'Vi want to stop this. They want to control. They want to be stoic in nature like we know they can be. You want to build up as players. You want to hold the high ground. PO tries to play in. Harold says no. The peak's his for now. The spray is so good. PO is so controlled as an individual. 3'd up as well. The helmet doesn't look so good, but the rest of the gear looks good enough to fight with. And now we see Gen G in the middle, putting their flag in the middle of this circle, saying, all right, who dares fight us?
Taemin's position is critical. He can overwatch and look for peekers on QM's side.
Oh, that's a scary upgrade to 3, isn't it?
A doozy, man of the hour. Can he be the one that confirms this? PO's going for a flank. Taemin's reading this, feeding the information. They're making the advantage, they're making the push.
They're going to go for this one. Loki's already found one. It should be go time for Ethla. He's looking for the next push, the next bit of flex, trying to find the player on the ridgeline. Na'Vi have been left in the dirt. You're seeing Gen G playing so far ahead. Everyone else is playing checkers and they're playing chess. Already they're going to go for the peak. You can see Esther. Spins on the dive, he knows it, but Na'Vi have punished. They've moved it, they've read it, and they might be able to hold this one together against the gods.
Esther down but not out. PO and Loki holding him. G is on the back foot. He's last man standing for QM, but he's outside against the blue. The grenades come down. Taemin goes for a low ball.
Wrap.
This could be a Hail Mary from the gods if he messes this one up.
Oh my God.
Bestaloch is looking for it though. This is really clever from him. He's looking on the offhangers, looking on the side. Loki, while he was down, at least QM can steal a point. There's a fight. A doozy sees him dead.
Taemin fights him. Taemin just found Senya. This is still very much on 2-team stand here. Gen G in recovery mode, Taemin on the hunt, and Na'Vi on the back foot. Bestaloch, he's got the nade in hand. He doesn't know how to stop him. Taemin peeking the ridge, trying to find a shot towards Senya, getting the flush. Bestaloch peeking over. He gets down one. No, he does finally. Where's the rest? PO stands, Esther stands. What can they fight with here? It's down to just PO in a 1v2. PO now needs to calm himself, still the nerves, steady. Na'Vi, this is risky. Trying to get 3 alive at this point, I don't blame him. I'd want to take an army with me against this man. Fake smoking on one side, going for the low ground. Rich, I don't want to write him off here.
I don't think you can. He's such a beast when it comes to these type of scenarios, but with how many people and how many players Na'Vi have, there is level 3 gear on him, so that's a big advantage. But he can just get hit from so many angles. The only problem is for Na'Vi, if they take this single man time and time again, then he could make something happen.
He's got to have seen Bestaloch. I'm almost certain he's had a glimpse. It looks like Pokemon Oldoy knows it as well. I think they've seen each other now. Where is PO in all of this? Trying to wrap back up on the high ground. This man is being mobile. He's trying to isolate the one player. This is so smart from PO, but can he do it? I think Senya's aware, but can he handle it? No! PO finds one. Now he has to do the magic. It's to isolate another 1v1. Can he do it? Pokemon Oldoy on the push. Don't go 1 by 1, please. Do not feed the beast. PO awaits. He's looking for the next. He's tagged up now. He's not looking so likely. A tag comes back. He wants to do the damage. He's 3'd up. He's geared up. He's ready to go. But Na'Vi says no.